the corrections team to get inside.
It takes 2 other cops to take...
This prisoner seemed tired of being confined and hatched a plan to aid his escape. He walked towards the desk, picked a baton, and hid behind the wall to ambush the officer.
To escape. Take a look at this. Surveillance video from New Mexico. The suspect here tricking a guard and locking him in his cell. He then jumps out, attacks a second guard.
The officer approached and the prisoner attacked. They struggled for a while before another guard came to help his colleague. The prisoner was eventually fastened to a chair as a preventive measure.
Plans on moving him to a jail for high-risk inmates. Probably a good idea.
Here we have 2 clips of the same prison. In the first clip, the inmate comes out of the room, and as if pre-planned, he immediately attacks the guard, who runs for his life.
One incident happened Wednesday when an inmate sucker punched an officer standing in the hallway.
In the second clip, we see a group of inmates attacking a single guard. The officer tries to fight back, but is outnumbered and easily overpowered.
Against a wall, then started punching and choking him. The officer fought him off. Both correction officers had minor injuries. The Department of Corrections says both inmates...
Prisoners can be seen roaming the courtyard with only a tall wall separating them from the outside world. Low-security prisons can be dangerous due to the potential for inmate violence, contraband circulation, and escapes facilitated by less stringent security measures. The prison yard eventually clears, and one prisoner takes his chance. In a twist, the white car suspiciously parked outside the walls is the escapee's ride to freedom. After getting inside the vehicle, the driver immediately steps on the gas and gets a head start on the cops, making it harder to track the prisoner. This video taken from Washington County Jail shows the sheriff sitting at his desk when one inmate attacked him. But he was a trained officer after all, and went toe-to-toe with the prisoner. The other inmates tried to interfere, but they were indecisive. Eventually, the guard brought the prisoner to the ground, pinning him there. This video shows how a regular day became a nightmare for these 2 prison guards. At first, we see them talking to the prisoners, but then things escalate.
July 16th, the Southern New Mexico Correctional Facility in Doña Ana County. The nurse had just finished passing out medication. Several inmates gathered around a pod door.
One of the inmates threw a punch, and the other took that as a cue. They beat the guards into the next room and continued hitting them as if releasing all their frustrations. One of the guards could not get himself up after the ordeal.
After he went down, at one point, it was 5-on-1. The officer gets up to fight back, though, but in the end, he's just outnumbered. At one point, the inmate...
Here's how an inmate planned and executed a flawless jailbreak right in front of the authorities who had no clue how they had been played. The incident took place on June 8, 2023, where the suspect slipped past the incompetent guards with ease and made their way out of the jail. In April 2017, 4 correctional officers were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries after an incident in Division 9 of Cook County Jail, the Supermax Security Unit. The tier involved houses detainees known for problematic behavior, including sexual misconduct. These detainees, issued specially designed jumpsuits, attempted to destroy them by using a microwave to ignite a wick, trying to set the uniforms on fire. This caused a small fire and smoke in the living unit. Two officers were hospitalized for smoke exposure, while 2 others were treated for injuries sustained while securing the tier. All officers have been released and have recovered. In a surprising escape, a detainee, now called the Snake Man by local media, managed to slip out of his prison cell in southern Russia by squeezing through a tiny window used for food delivery. In a sad incident on the 8th of April 2018, body cam footage shows David M. Schwartz, a former correctional officer at the Louisville Metro Department of Correction, punching 19-year-old Terry Whitehead.
That's the white boy? Yeah, you got him blow you like a mother. God! Where? See white boy? Look at it. See it? Bill. Let's definitely get up there. Let me get the camera. Let me get the camera. Cut the light out. 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 Keep it down. Going down. Oh, he going down. He going down. Lee County, man. He going down. Just like that. You see him going. He throwed it, about to hit him. Look at him. He gone. He gone. He leaving out? No, he ready. Come on. Let me see him. Let me see him.
On 8th March 2019, a terrifying incident unfolded inside an Arkansas jail where a riot broke out.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Now! Face down! Face down! Face down!
The riot didn't last long as the officers were able to contain it, and later on booked 5 inmates with additional charges.
A lot of the inmates, had their T-shirts and towels wrapped around their head. We could sit there and say at the initial instant they were concealing their identity.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma, chaos erupts as 2 inmates engage in a brutal brawl over a heated argument about hogging the jail phone. Disturbing footage from October 7th, 2024. A man was critically injured after shooting at deputies, who then returned fire outside the Gwinnett County Jail.
He told me I was head of the family a decade ago. I am trying to become head of the family, which means I need power of attorney. She's abusing him emotionally. She's abusing him physically. He's Stockholm Syndrome. He doesn't, and he's, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then he walks outside. I'm like, okay, dude, come back in.
What is this what you wear?
It's armor, like yours. Probably not as good.
Are you armor right now or something?
Do you want to find out? No. Come on, baby. Don't look at me like that. You want to do something? You feeling squirrely, buddy?
After an argument with officers inside the jail office, the man, holding his baby, went to the garage, retrieved weapons, and made the reckless decision to open fire.
Everybody get back.
Let me see. I'll grab it. We need the shield at the front here. Grab the shield. Y'all get out. Y'all get out. Everybody come to the back. Shield right here.
Hey, down! Get down! You got it, Cotton? Put the gun down! Gun down! Put the gun down! Your weapon! Drop your weapon! Yo!
Show up your hand!
Looking at you! Watch it! It's coming your way.
It's okay, they said we're not sure if you can advise, but we've got an armed individual in our part of the jail. Shots fired! Shot fired!
In February 2025, a Mississippi inmate angrily head-butted an officer while being escorted into court.
Yeah!
a startling display of defiance, inmates at the Litoral Penitentiary in Guayaquil, Ecuador, intentionally flooded their prison to create an impromptu pool. This act tells us about the severe challenges within Ecuador's prison system, including overcrowding, gang influence, and deteriorating infrastructure. The Litoral Penitentiary, designed for 5,000 inmates, currently houses approximately 10,000, doubling its intended capacity. Such conditions have led to frequent riots and violence, with over 400 inmate deaths since 2021.
We doing what we doing and we have what we have.
That's what we have, you see what I'm saying? We have what we have.
Put you down, clown.
Prison grilling, a knockoff Rolex, 2 mobile phones, and even a TikTok account. It's like a barbecue with a side of luxury behind bars. But this whole setup feels surreal, but it's more common than you'd think. Turns out, this isn't just inmates getting creative, it's all part of the unspoken system.
It's not built on it, just look like that.
Yeah.
Some say guards covertly allow things like this to maintain order. Peace offerings like phones, drugs, or even a grill keep things running smoother than cracking down hard on every little violation. It's a balancing act. Control the chaos without sparking rebellion. The weirdest part? Watching them upload TikToks from a prison cookout. A guy was filming inside an abandoned prison, exploring the eerie, decaying cells, when he suddenly spotted something that sent chills down his spine.
I may or may not have climbed up because there's no stairs.
A shadowy figure inside a locked cell. At first, it seemed impossible. The door was sealed, rusted shut from years of neglect. How could anything or anyone be in there?
If you look closely, you can clearly see a shadow figure.
The figure didn't move, but its presence was undeniable. It was just dark enough and just still enough to make you question what you were seeing. Was it a trick of the light? Leftover debris casting an odd shadow? Or was there something more unsettling going on? Chechen prisons are a whole different vibe. These guys walk around like they own the place. And honestly, they probably do. It's not just the swagger, it's the aura of control. Like everyone else knows not to step out of line around them. This prison break took a bizarre turn when the tunnel the inmates dug ended up being too small for some of them to escape. In a twist of irony, police had to assist the struggling prisoners out of the tight space, only to capture them immediately afterward. The scene was equal parts absurd and tense as officers pulled one prisoner after another out of the cramped hole. For the inmates, what must have seemed like their ticket to freedom turned into an almost comical dead end. This is what happens when a prison officer is cool with inmates.
When the prison staff love you.
Say hello, man.
Cotton gang.
In a video captured by surveillance, an inmate was seen pulling a waste bin to a corner where he's already kept one bin But it turned out that it wasn't trash, I'm the bins, because a few moments later, 2 people came out of the bins. The 2 people were wearing the customary orange prison uniform, showing that they were also detainees. They stepped out of the trash bins and quietly made their escape without wasting time. A police dashcam on April 5, 2006, captured an encounter between a police officer and a prison escapee. The officers stopped the escapee while they'd been after, but this particular ex-inmate kept his cool as he talked with the officer. He told him his name was Robert Jones and that he was only jogging. The police officer put a call through to the station to get the details of the escapee so they could match it with those of Jones.
You're how old? 50? I was born in 56. You said born in 56. No, short hair. My guy's got skin cut hair. He's got a beard, a goatee like.
Eventually, he was convinced that Robert Jones was indeed a jogger and let him go. As seen in this video, a white police vehicle approached a building and stopped in front of it. Police officers in blue began to come out, followed by a man in a black suit. The prisoner followed the black-suited man out, but just then, he bolted to the right, pushing the officer who was blocking his way and running to the side of the building. The law enforcement agents gave a short chase, but when they realized he was too fast, they pulled out their pistols and started firing. The prisoner ran in a zigzag motion to avoid the bullets and ran on. One of the police officers followed him in the hope of finding him. Good luck with that. This video shows a view of a prison compound with a white bus packed by the side. Suddenly, 2 shirtless detainees in black and white striped prison pants are seen jumping off the prison fence. They don't stop after jumping but flee by going around the bus. A murder suspect, Dwayne Shane, was in court for his trial. He was allowed to roam freely in the court with a GPS tracker attached to his ankle. The court surveillance camera captured a video of him walking calmly down the hallway. On the other side of the hallway, his girlfriend was also calmly walking about. The video showed Shane and his dad casually walking past the cops, who paid no attention to them. After a while, Shane and his dad casually strutted out of the court like they were taking a stroll, followed by his girlfriend, and once outside, he took off his jacket. A van, driven by his mother, pulled up on the road and 3 of them got in. The vehicle sped off, with Shane throwing out his GPS tracker. He was later recaptured and sentenced. In the Lake County Courthouse in Illinois, Travis Copeland was facing charges. The court camera captured a video of him running down a corridor. He had escaped the courtroom and was now trying to flee from the premises. His options were not good, as he was seen running the opposite way, but 2 cops had spotted him. Running out of options, he tried his last chance, the widow. Copeland braced himself and lunged at the widow, not knowing it was bulletproof. The widow didn't budge. After failing to escape and being surrounded by cops, he gently laid on the ground and put his hands behind his back. The officers cuffed him and led him back to the courtroom. Prisoners are inside their cells resting as rain pours down on the yard when the peace is suddenly broken. One prisoner tries his luck by climbing one of the pillars to escape while no cops are looking. He fails to do this, but still decides to continue his escape by rallying more prisoners to help.
Eles jogam uma corda formada por lençóis para tentar escapar, mas a fuga foi abortada pelos agentes e policiais de plantão.
The news report shows other prisoners decided to help and escape from their cells after seeing the first prisoner. If caught trying to escape, prison consequences typically include additional criminal charges, extended sentences, and placement in higher security facilities. Unfortunately, this doesn't stop other prisoners from trying to escape.
Reconhece que há superlotação no presídio e anunciou a construção de uma nova penitenciária na região norte do Piauí, no município de Buriti.
When escorted to prison, a man is left with no choice but to comply with the cop to avoid getting into more trouble. The cop then puts handcuffs on the detainee while escorting him outside. Little does he know this detainee has other plans in mind. The man proceeds to slip his hands out of the cuffs, with the help of the lady, hiding this from his police escort, waiting for the right time to start his escape. Still oblivious to the fact that his detainee is free of the cuffs, the police officer leads the man outside for transportation, only for an escape attempt to happen. He gets caught shortly after his attempt, running into a dead end. A camera footage showing the outside of a prison captures something you would only expect to see in a movie. Successfully climbing the prison walls is one thing, but avoiding the barbed wires and sharp, broken glass lined throughout the walls is another.
9 câmeras de vídeo monitoramento no entorno do Instituto Penal de Novo Hamburgo. Detento pulou o muro, mas foi capturado a 2 quadras do local, pois sua ação foi vigiada pelas câmeras.
One scratch from the sharp wires or broken glass can easily lead this prisoner to panic from the pain or, even worse, fall from the wall. This doesn't discourage the prisoner, though, as he sees his freedom right before him, calling for him to take action.
A Intendência do Serviço Penitenciário, SUSEP, acionou imediatamente a Brigada Militar. Jackson Josué Lino da Silva, 30 anos, foi abordado em seguida.
Prison walls can range from 10 to 30 feet in height, depending on the facility's security level and location, but this prisoner jumps anyway. After this incident, they should really consider increasing the height of the prison's walls.
Delegacia de Polícia de Pronto Atendimento de Novo Hamburgo, onde já constava como foragido. Ele foi reencaminhado ao sistema prisional. Às 9...
Again, you'd think that a prison holding dangerous prisoners would have better security than just a steel wire. We expect prisons to keep us safe from violent and dangerous criminals by using top-of-the-line security measures, and not just this. Recording his fellow prisoners, one detainee captures a dangerous escape attempt, which is something you should just watch for yourself. Steel wires can be climbed, but it's challenging due to their smooth and often high structure, especially when installed as part of a security barrier. This doesn't stop them, though, as the pain of the razor-sharp steel wires doesn't even bother them with freedom on their minds. The prisoners successfully escape in less than a minute, exposing the prison's biggest flaw. It's shocking that this took place inside a correctional facility. The video shows 2 men harassing a guard for the key to a cell. The guard gives them the key and tactfully leaves the place, followed by his colleagues. The 2 gangsters open the cell door while their other members join them from God knows where. As soon as the door opens, they open fire, shooting whoever occupies the cell at point-blank range. On October 17, 2016, in a Racine County Correctional Facility, this terrifying video shows an inmate being escorted by 2 guards. At first, this was nothing serious, as the prisoner was even seen walking peacefully with a bright smile. When he noticed the prison officers were off guard, he turned, suddenly hitting one of the wardens with a heavy fist and landing him on the floor. The other officer acted quickly as he jumped on him, pinning him down on the floor and battling with the prisoner from being able to escape. Other officers rushed out to help. In the video, an inmate from the New Albany County Jail in Mississippi was being escorted to the courtroom by officers. The prisoner's hand was cuffed and tied around his wrists.
What's up?
The prisoner yelled at the guards in front of him and angrily headbutted one of them. The officers responded quickly as they fired back, immediately carrying him away out of the room.
Yeah.
This video, caught on a surveillance camera at the maximum security Southern Ohio Correctional Facility in Lucasville, shows detainees handcuffed to a table in a recreational area, and another inmate in the area behind them manages to slip out of his handcuffs and pull out a homemade knife.
Handcuffed to a table in a recreation area as protocol dictates. Another man, inmate Greg Reinke, is at a table behind them
and starts chasing the other prisoners who are cuffed to the table as they run circles around the table. Finally, he was able to stab the inmates, as there were no other ways the detainees could defend themselves. The prison guards watched from behind, and they did nothing about it.
And manages to slip out of his handcuffs before stabbing the four men who are handcuffed and then begin running circles around the table trying to fight back.
On June 14th, a maximum security prison in Miami showed a video of a power breakdown in the prison as the inmates walked out of their cells and chased after a shirtless prisoner. The inmate being chased jumped off from the first floor to the ground floor and broke his leg. Another prisoner rushed to his rescue as he stood around him like a shield.
This dramatic footage captured on surveillance tape and obtained by the Miami Herald. A shirtless inmate being chased jumps over a railing onto the floor below.
Real-time video has been released showing a prison break in Yanshu County, Harbin, in northeast China's Heilongjiang province. The inmates escaped after murdering a security guard. Following the incident, a nationwide manhunt was launched. 2 of the escapees were identified and captured with help from locals. Li Haiwei was caught in Yushan Village, while Wang Daming was apprehended in Xinsheng Village after midnight. However, one fugitive, Gao Yulun, remains at large. On November 23, 2009, a 31-year-old New Orleans woman, Tori T. Smith, walked out of the Orleans Parish jail lockup. The escape happened just before 4:40 p.m. when an unidentified New Orleans police officer failed to lock 2 doors leading to the jail lockup's central holding area. The jailbreak was far from a well-thought-out plan. She managed to leave the jails quite easily. Smith had been brought into the jail only about 2 hours before her escape. Up next is horrifying footage of a juvenile detention center fight. The inmates jumped on the guards, taking them by surprise, but backup soon arrived and they were able to quell the short-lived riot. This next body camera footage from December 9th, 2024 shows a handcuffed inmate, 43-year-old Robert Brooks, being beaten unconscious by prison guards before being stripped down to his underwear. In a rare case of corrupt officials being caught, video footage circulating on social media shows an officer from the Tuelopile Correctional Center in Kimberley with contraband strapped to his waist underneath his uniform. He was apprehended by fellow officials after receiving a tip-off.
I don't know who Ermadal, you are lucky, son. You are lucky.
I'm not your son.
You are lucky.
I'm not your son.
I've lost respect for him.
I'm not your son.
You hear me? When are you my father?
I'm telling you.
Are you my father?
I can be your father.
You are nonsense, man.
I'm telling you.
Not be my father. Somebody responsible. Someone listen to us.
When the Taliban seized control of the Paktika Central Prison, it turned into pure chaos. Over 300 prisoners escaped in what felt like the prison's version of an open house. The gates didn't just open, they were practically thrown wide, with everyone rushing out like it was the end of a fire drill. The scene was chaotic, but also unsettling. It's not just about the sheer number of escapees. It's about what happens next. Hundreds of individuals, including potentially dangerous ones, suddenly free to disappear into the region. In a moment that left everyone stunned, A man was assaulted in prison while attending his Zoom court call.
2 males. One of them is...
Your Honor, I don't know what's going on in the jail right now. It looks like somebody just went and started beating up the defendant.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, where are the officers?
Talk about a situation spiraling out of control. No one, least of all the court staff, expected to witness punches flying live on camera. The strangest part, the guy throwing the punches probably timed it perfectly, knowing the victim would be distracted and unable to react. These prisoners got creative and turned their prison into a trampoline park.
I've never seen this before. Dude literally jumps straight off the tier in front of all of those guards and goes into straight front flip mode. Boom! Hits the center, guard on top. Now it goes straight into front flip mode. Boom, boom, boom! That's crazy!
A security camera caught the exact moment chaos erupted inside a prison in Rio Grande do Sul. Inmates were attempting to escape, with one of them managing to climb the wall and make a clean getaway.
De ciclone extratropical, assim como aconteceu no mês passado, né? Ou no mês retrasado, se não me engano. Como é que está o tempo hoje aí em Porto Alegre, hein, tia? Bom dia, bom trabalho.
Oi, Joel, bom dia, Thaís, a todo mundo que está com a gente aqui no Bora Brasil. A previsão do tempo se confirma aqui no Rio Grande do Sul, com chuva fraca na região de Porto Alegre nessa terça-feira. A tendência é de que esse ciclone extratropical se forme na costa do Uruguai amanhã e que comece a causar mais problemas em relação a ventos muito fortes, a um volume de chuva muito grande na quinta-feira aqui no sul do Brasil, tanto para nós no Rio Grande do Sul quanto no estado de Santa Catarina. O frio deu um tempo por aqui, viu? A temperatura está relativamente agradável, mas a chuva fraca realmente está incomodando um pouquinho quem está na rua hoje.
Tá bom. Ô tia, vamos colocar umas imagens agora de alguns bandidos que tentaram escapar de um presídio no interior aí do Rio Grande do Sul. Eu digo alguns, mas me parece que um conseguiu escapar. Veja aí, ó, imagens internas de um presídio, olha os caras pulando ali, até com uma certa facilidade, né? Colocando as mãos ali nas janelas. Olha lá, alguns caíram. Viram? Alguns chegaram a colocar as mãos lá em cima da muralha, mas acabaram despencando. Agora, tia, realmente um me parece que escapa. Olha lá, o cara foi hábil, hein? Que habilidade, o cara conseguiu escalar e escapou mesmo desse presídio. Em qual local aí do Rio Grande do Sul, hein, tia?
The footage shows the intensity of the moment. Desperation mixed with adrenaline as they tried to seize their chance. In the early morning hours, 11 prisoners made a daring escape from the Nova Esperança police station, scaling the walls under the cover of darkness. Security cameras captured the entire operation, showing the escapees in action as they climbed to freedom with surprising coordination and speed.
Na sequência, todos saem correndo e desaparecem. Os foragidos são:
2 inmates made a daring escape by hiding in trash cans and getting pushed out by other inmates. Talk about taking out the trash.
This intense chase begins with a man being recorded from a helicopter trying to escape the cops, who are chasing him close behind.
Deles atravessou a pista expressa da avenida, chegou a invadir uma empresa na região. Balança a reportagem.
This prisoner is surprisingly calm during his escape, even though he knows that dozens of cops are following him closely. His calm demeanor hides his fear, as he needs to remain calm and collected if he wants to escape this chase successfully.
Nesse momento, ele tenta despistar o helicóptero Águia da Polícia Militar. São momentos de tensão. O fugitivo coloca as mãos na cabeça e parece que vai se entregar.
Prisoners outrunning cops is rare due to law enforcement's training, resources, and coordination. Still, it can occur depending on various factors. Things are no different for this encounter as the chase eventually stops. Fortunately, the prisoner is successfully apprehended and put back in prison afterward.
Polícia e tentam parar o homem, que pula um muro de arame farpado. Ele quase fica preso, mas consegue descer. Já no chão, o homem tenta se esconder numa lixeira.
Using the night's cover, 4 prisoners skip sleep to attempt their long-awaited risky escape. Using a rope made out of clothes as a means of escape, the prisoners help each other out of prison. Unfortunately, the cops are too slow to stop them, and the prisoners escape successfully.
Nenhuma resposta ainda da Secretaria de Administração Penitenciária. A única coisa que eles confirmaram é realmente esse déficit, de número de policiais. Eles falam...
A CCTV camera captures something disastrous outside a high-security prison containing dangerous criminals. This daring escape shows the men trying to climb the prison walls without alerting the guards.
O momento exato da fuga. As imagens mostram...
Despite the lingering fear of being caught in the middle of their escape, the inmates push through their anxiety as the outside world waits. After the intense climb, the prisoners finally reach the other side of the wall, running away as fast as they can after landing.
Presos pulando o muro do presídio. Na sequência, todos saem correndo e desaparecem. Os foragidos são...
The following clip captured in prison shows a confrontation between 2 inmates, a shirtless detainee and a new inmate. The fact that there's a phone in the prison is already alarming enough. In the video, we see the shirtless guy yelling at the new inmate and advancing menacingly toward him while the guy tries to fight him off. But the shirtless detainee does not stop, eventually forcing the new guy into a corner, causing him to beg. The clip shows us CCTV footage of prisoners being asked to clean the prison hallway while the guards watch. At first, everything seems to be expected, except when the atmosphere suddenly changes and something horrifying happens. The prisoners can be seen holding the terrified guards hostage, threatening knives into their sides to ensure the guards are left immobile. The clip ends abruptly, and whether or not the attempt was successful is unknown.
This prison fight gone wrong is hard to watch. When a man falls from the second floor during the chaos, the first thought is, did he survive? From what I've found, it happened at the Federal Correctional Complex in Lompoc, California. The fall wasn't just bad, it was devastating. The guy sustained multiple blunt force injuries, broken bones, and even had his mental faculties impaired, needing weeks in the hospital and therapy just to start recovering. It's wild to think about the kind of damage a fall like that can do. What really sticks with me is the aftermath. 4 other inmates were sentenced to extra time for their roles in the fight. It's chilling to imagine the atmosphere in that place, where something like this can happen in a flash. It makes you wonder about the long-term impact on someone surviving such a fall. Physically, sure, but mentally? To go through something so traumatic in such a dangerous environment? That's got to change a person forever. The clip is shocking, but the story behind it hits even harder. This escape is straight up like something out of a movie. The prisoner just stands there casually, waiting for the perfect moment, and when everyone's distracted, he slowly backs out the door like it's no big deal. It's almost funny how low-key it is. No frantic running or alarms, just pure patience and timing. Honestly, the boldness is kind of impressive. What gets me is how no one even glances his way as he's slipping out. It makes you think, how many people could actually get away with something like this just by playing it cool, wild, and definitely not something you'd expect to see in real life. This isn't a Halloween prank, it's a terrifying reality. A gang member tried to escape prison by dressing up as his own daughter, complete with a wig, mask, and clothes. It's unsettling how convincing the disguise was at first glance, making you wonder just how far people will go to manipulate and evade justice.
É só tirar a roupa normal. Não tem esculacho. Ninguém tá te fazendo nada, pô. Sem esculacho. Não. Devagar. Calma aí. Isso. Bota de volta o... Não, pode tirar. Tá bom, tira a máscara. Só um minuto. Pera aí. É isso, tem esculacho comigo. Qual é o teu nome? Alvino da Silva. Qual é a B7.
What's even scarier is the thought of what could have happened if he'd succeeded. This wasn't just a harmless stunt. It was a dangerous criminal attempting to walk right out the door, blending into the outside world where he could have vanished. This is absolute chaos. A bulldozer smashing through a prison wall, and suddenly 13 inmates are running for freedom. The "oh, what was that?" moment is exactly how everyone probably felt seeing it unfold. And the guards, instead of locking things down, they're shouting, "Stop that man filming!" Like, maybe stop the guys running out first? It's wild to think how poorly protected the prison must have been for something like this to even happen. A bulldozer, really. The sheer audacity of it is terrifying. Imagine being nearby and seeing that wall crumble, knowing dangerous people are on the loose. Apparently, all 13 escapees were captured, so the breakout was ultimately futile. But the fact that it even happened in the first place, that's what sticks with you. It's the kind of thing that feels like it belongs in a movie, not real life, and in today's world, you know everyone's first instinct would be to film it. But let's not forget, call the cops first, then grab your phone.
Prisoners and police officers get into a perilous and violent war with one another, leading to this very intense and terrifying scene. It's hard for police officers to control all the inmates while being outnumbered, so they use the prison architecture to their advantage during fights like this. The The video, being recorded by a police officer inside the prison, shows the terrifying reality of what goes on inside violent jails. Prison fights occur periodically but are relatively common due to the tense and confined environment within correctional facilities. The officers can be seen shooting at the prisoners inside the yard, while the prisoners try their best to fight back using whatever they can. The scene in this prison can only be described as utter chaos. The clip shows a massive brawl happening right in the prison cafeteria. With little or no supervision, it's shocking that they were able to stop themselves. Well, this is quite a sight. A police officer was standing shoulder to shoulder with a man in jail when, without warning, the man suddenly threw a punch at the cop's face, M, catching him off guard. It would have been worse if his colleagues hadn't come to his aid with a teaser.
Blood. It takes 2 other cops to take Romero down, and something else. That's a taser. Now it's not just the...
This clip has no audio, so we're not clear on what happened, but this prisoner inevitably says something to the officer. The cop wastes no time in punching him in the face. He then proceeded to lift the prisoner off the ground, slamming his head on the floor. Other officers eventually came to keep the prisoner down. A disturbing video from the Arizona Department of Corrections captures a violent attack inside the prison. The incident occurred at 9:55 a.m. on November 3, 2020, when an officer performed a routine cell check. 2 inmates approached him from behind.
The Tucson prison at 9:55 in the morning. A lone officer checking a cell. 2 inmates then corner him and unload. One holds him as another wails away.
One prisoner grabbed the officer while the other repeatedly punched him. A 3rd inmate casually walked by, ignoring the assault. Moments later, the officer broke free, retrieved his pepper spray, and began using it, causing the inmates to flee to the 1st floor, watching the officer from above.
This is beyond brutal. After spraying the inmates, the officer, still alone, and inmates begin to attack him again. Punches, kicks, stomps.
After a few minutes, the inmates launched another attack, this time with more intensity, delivering punches and kicks. As the officer attempted to escape, they grabbed him and slammed him to the ground. One inmate even appeared to injure his foot while kicking the officer.
He's like taunting him now. Now he's hitting him. He's at that point, he's just at their mercy.
The inmates get tired and actually take a short break as the officer...
After a brief pause, the convicts let the officer go. But as he reached the stairs, they resumed the assault, aggressively kicking him. One inmate turned the officer's pepper spray against him, and after a final attack, they allowed him to ascend the stairs.
We're at a minute 45 of this now.
Yeah. Now we'll get to why no backup has responded here in a moment. But first, you should know something more about these inmates.
A South African prisoner attempted an escape from prison. He succeeded in going past the gate, but the problem is that he didn't go through the normal way. He squeezed past the small opening in the middle of the gate. But he didn't successfully escape, as the police recaptured him. He was asked to return to the cell the same way he exited, and the video captured him struggling to squeeze past the same gap through which he came out. This video, captured by eyewitnesses, shows the epic chase of an escapee. The prisoner had escaped from prison, and still dressed in the signature orange prison uniform, he raced past several cats and shops. One cop was panting heavily while chasing after the escapee. It seemed the prisoner had made up his mind to escape because he showed no sign of stopping. He jumped over a low fence, and moments later, the officer got to the fence, panting. But the decisive prisoner had already escaped into oblivion.
Where's your backup? Where is the backup? He lost the inmate, y'all.
CCTV cameras captured an impossible escape attempt by prisoner Jeffrey Hope at the county court.
Surveillance video shows Jeffrey Hope running out of a holding cell at the county courthouse and then running off down a hallway.
In the video, Hope can be seen in his prison uniform bursting out of a corner at full speed and running down a hallway. The police officer sitting there immediately takes off after him, even pulling out their teasers just in case. Hope's desperate attempt was for naught, though, as he is seen being dragged back by officers and pushed back into a cell. A very smooth prison escape was captured on video, where this prisoner in white seemed to turn into Spider-Man. He first walked to and from to make sure he was alone at that moment, and then, like a scene out of a movie, started climbing the walls with hands and feet. He eventually got out of sight, making his smooth escape to freedom. A surveillance camera captured a group of inmates standing in the prison yard, some shirtless. But the striking thing about this video is that it showed one of the inmates with a tattoo on his right arm steadily climbing up the high prison fence. Other inmates watched him as he climbed to the top of the fence and jumped off to the other side. Looking around and finding no one, he fled into the shadows and his freedom. A court CCTV on February 13, 2023, captured a video of a group of prisoners in white and orange striped prison uniforms sitting on the front row in court while the court sitting progressed. However, as the court was going on with its business, one of the prisoners stood up and walked directly to the window. He jumped out of the window and fell straight to the floor, taking to his heels thereafter. Reports are that he was later caught and taken to the hospital for treatment. On August 22, 2022, a surveillance camera captured an uprising in the Indian River Juvenile Correctional Center, showing a group of young detainees wreaking havoc in the place. Tables were broken and overturned. There were laptops and desktops smashed on the floor. The detainees brought tables and a shelf to the door, barricading themselves in. Then they started attempting to break a door, probably their escape route. But no matter how many people were at the door, it didn't budge. They went back to throwing things around and smashing what objects they could find. One of them climbed onto a table and sneered something at the camera, blocking the view from the inside. Here, a rather hilarious escape of a prisoner was captured. The video shows police officers looking frantically for a prisoner around a vehicle. Unbeknownst to them, the prisoner they were looking for was lying flat on top of the vehicle. The officers looked around the vehicle, with one of them flashing a light and looking beneath the vehicle, yet there was no sign of the prisoner. He stayed motionless on the vehicle, and the ignorant officers eventually drove off. This terrifying video, captured showing a riot inside the Sandoval County Detention Center, shows correctional officers throwing a flashbang inside the prison cell to disorient the inmates after the prison guards left the room.
This is the blast that ended the riot. Let's slow that down and take another look.
The prisoners took their shirts off and wrapped them around their faces to protect themselves, and the guards walked out of the room. The specialized team finally arrived there.
These officers with shields, gas masks, and weapons designed to stop a riot are members of the Tactical Support Unit.
And a battle between the inmates and the guards began at the tiny opening of the door. The inmates tried covering the opening with blankets and powder, and the guards battled to push their flashbangs into the room.
Here's what it looked like on the other side of that door. A bird's eye view inside the Sandoval County Detention Center showed the blast and inmates running.
After the flashbang exploded, the guards scattered and regrouped, throwing water, furniture, and other things under the door. After a second round of the flash, the special forces were finally able to enter the room, and the inmates were caught and handcuffed outside the prison. Both the prisoners and the guards were coughing as the pepper spray fired in the room was too much to handle.
It took 2 rounds of those loud bangs and explosions for the corrections team to get inside.
In this video, we see an officer talking to an inmate when the inmate suddenly throws a punch that sends the officer's head back, rendering him helpless. Another officer intervenes, and only then is the prisoner contained.
An inmate attacks a sheriff's deputy in Florida. Hillsborough County Sheriff's investigators say Mickler Gabriel refused to back away from a door as the deputy was opening it.
This female correctional officer was trying to take the inmate's laptop, but she didn't know what was coming. In a split second, the prisoner punched her in the face, sending her to the ground. Then he immediately surrendered himself and was held down by the guards. Taking his steps slowly and as quietly as possible, this prisoner avoids getting detected as he continues to make his way to the exit. He even avoids detection by the police officers next door just by crawling on all fours, resembling a level in a video game. A few moments later, after a slow but steady pace toward the prison exit, he finally achieves something no prisoner could ever dream of. He gets his freedom so smoothly as we see him run across the road. In 2013, a very dangerous Russian criminal escaped from detention, and his escape was captured by CCTV cameras. The man was in a tall building, probably on the highest floor, but he had a plan and made a rope. He
Он держит покрывало. Вот он опирается ногами на оконную решетку. В какой-то момент поворачивается лицом к камере.
Climbed out the window with his makeshift rope and gently lowered himself to a certain height before jumping into the compound. Then, with the composure of an owner, he walked into the offices where a policeman saw him but didn't recognize him as a detainee. The prisoner casually walked through the door and to the front of the premises before leaving altogether.
Его задержали в Москве в Измайловском парке. После завели уголовное дело в отношении сотрудников СИЗО, ответственных за содержание под стражей подозреваемых.
In a crazy prison moment, inmate Robert Brooks, 43, was handcuffed when he was beaten by several correctional officers. In an extremely bizarre incident inside a jail, an argument broke out resulting in physical violence, but this time among fellow police officers.
I'm not taking it. You guys are taking it. I'm not taking it. County Central, do not roll my pre-book into Sally Court door.
Well, we can stay here all day.
That's what we're going to do until you take him out of my building.
I'm not taking it. Sir, I'm not taking it. You're the one committing crime, not
No, I'm not, sir. I have not accepted him in my facility yet. He is still in your custody.
He's not in my custody. Please.
Apparently, days after Lighthorse police arrested a non-native man in Okmulgee, they returned to the Okmulgee County Jail to serve the arrest warrant, but left without doing so. Amid a dispute between both entities, the Muskogee Nation alleges a jailer assaulted one of their tribal police officers. As seen in body cam footage they released, an arrest warrant has since been issued.
Open this. What is happening here? What is going on? Oh my God, this is all we're going to need. I'm so sorry.
Who is it? Hey, you better take your hands off of me before you get that whip.
I'm sorry.
Are you somebody with little... You're going to put your hands on him?
Don't put your
hands on the captain.
No, come on. Sir.
Nope.
Out of my building, gentlemen.
You're going to go with us, I promise.
See, you keep putting
hands off of him. Don't you put your hands That's all my deal. You put your hands on me first. Actually, that's a few else. My life on your is going too. They're refusing to take it.
Yeah, we don't recognize if you already existed.
Okay, it's the state of Oklahoma.
In a bizarre video that went viral on social media, a prisoner at Cape Town's Goodwood Correctional Center boasted about his comfortable life behind bars, claiming he received free food, electricity, education, and even a cell phone.
Yeah, hello haters. You put us in prison and you think we are suffering. No, my brother, we are doing extremely fine. Look how happy we are. And this morning we had breakfast, and in the afternoon we had lunch, and we had supper, and we are about to have dinner, my bro. We are doing extremely fine. We are not even suffering at all. We are happy. And look here, we are not even paying rent. No. We are not buying electricity. No. Nothing, my brother. We don't even cook food. They give us food for free. We don't even cook. Yeah, the difference is the same, my brother. No, we are not. No, my brother. We don't need toiletries. We give for free. And the education is going to be free in prison. We're not suffering. We're not suffering. If you think we are suffering, no, my brother. You are wrong. Yeah, you're wrong. Very wrong.
But the video reached the authorities, and his happiness was short-lived. After getting into trouble, he was forced to create a second video.
Start. I know haters. If you think you put us in prison, if you think we're suffering, we're doing extremely fine. This morning we had the breakfast and this afternoon we had lunch. We're not suffering at all.
And now they found me.
And now they found me, they caged me. Now I'm suffering.
In a strange incident, former Cocke County jailer Kelton Townsend, 29, was arrested after being caught on video slamming a handcuffed man to the ground in February.
I wasn't laying down.
What now?
I was laying down.
I seen you laying down.
Well, what'd you have to risk me for?
Interference with emergency calls. You'll listen to this young man right here. Sit right there against that wall, buddy. Yeah, here. Come right here.
I was laying down.
I gotta take your picture.
Oh, but you get my picture.
Shut up. That's fine. I don't need your picture. Yeah.
No, you don't need my
As of now, I know I don't need it. That's fine.
Fat ass.
That's fine.
Oh, make me.
I fucking will, buddy.
Well, go ahead. Hey, you don't get my wallet.
Yeah, I get your wallet.
No, you don't.
You don't try to stop me from doing shit. You gonna keep being how you being? Or you gonna roll the handcuffs off? I'll roll the handcuffs. What else you got in the pockets? Taser. If you beat the shot down.
On December 17, 2019, Cuyahoga County Jail Officer Jermaine Clements was charged with assault in connection with an attack on an inmate.
You gonna get fed. You gonna get fed just like everybody else. I'm not gonna open the door. Man, do you really think I'm worried about you? Man, I'm not f***ing with you young broke sucker. I'm already hip to you. Cause I know. And that's why your gonna stay behind that door. That's cool. That's just gonna send me to the house a little early. Move your hand, man. Move your hand. Move your hand. Move your hand. Move your hand.
This clip is gut-wrenching. The inmate is sitting down for what's reportedly his last meal, trembling uncontrollably while someone in the background coldly tells him to hurry up. You can see the fear and overwhelming emotion in every movement as his hands shake while he tries to eat. The tension is unbearable. The rushed tone of the guard behind him adds another layer of cruelty, turning what should be a solemn moment into something mechanical and almost dehumanizing. It's a raw, unfiltered look at a moment most of us can't even begin to imagine. This isn't just a video, it's a reminder of the finality of such a situation. Regardless of opinions on justice or punishment, seeing someone in their last moments like this is haunting. It sticks with you, leaving you questioning how you'd react in such a moment. Japanese prisoner hijacks a police van to escape after his court hearing in Bangkok. This Japanese prisoner didn't just think outside the box, he turned the box into his getaway ride. After a court hearing in Bangkok, he managed to hijack the police van meant to transport him back to jail. Talk about flipping the script on a prison break. The audacity is wild. It's not every day you hear about someone using the very vehicle meant to keep them locked up as their escape plan. You've got to wonder how he pulled it off. Did he overpower the guards? Sneakily take control? Either way, it's bold and bizarre. A North Korean prisoner and former Special Forces operative executed a daring and calculated escape from a Chinese jail, showcasing his training and resourcefulness. Using a homemade rope, he pulled on the electric fence wires, causing a short circuit and disabling the barrier. The entire operation was over in just 3 minutes, a testament to his precision and quick thinking. A 22-year-old man serving time for theft was so thin that he was able to escape prison through a window to receive parcels. In a bizarre yet impressive escape, a man serving time for theft managed to wiggle his way out of prison through a narrow parcel window. His unusually slim build was the key, allowing him to slip through an opening most wouldn't even consider trying. The thought of someone fitting through such a tiny space is both incredible and unsettling. It's the kind of escape that feels almost surreal, like something out of a movie. but for the guards, it's likely a major wake-up call. What seemed like an impossible route turned out to be the perfect exit.
A dangerous Russian criminal escaped from detention in 2013. His escape was captured by CCTV cameras. The man was in a tall building, probably on the highest floor, but he'd made a rope. With his rope, he climbed out of the window and gently lowered himself to a certain height before jumping off into the compound. Then he walked into the offices, where a policeman saw him but didn't recognize him as a detainee. The prisoner casually walked through the door and to the front of the premises before leaving the place completely. A video captured in prison showed a confrontation between two inmates, a shirtless detainee and a new inmate. The video shows the shirtless guy yelling at the new inmate and advancing menacingly towards him while the guy tries to fight him off. But the shirtless detainee continued, eventually forcing the new guy into a corner, causing him to beg. A brutal video from the Arizona Department of Corrections prison is being shown. This incident happened at 9:55 in the morning on November 3, 2020. An officer was checking the cell, and two convicts walked up to him. One held the guard from behind as the other rained on him with his fist. Another prisoner was seen just walking away as if nothing was going on. Some seconds later, the officer was able to free himself, reached out for his pepper spray, and began shooting. The criminals scattered to the first floor as they watched the officer walk away from above. After a few minutes of spraying, the inmates attacked the guard again, more furious this time as they threw more fists and kicks at the warden. When the officer managed to free himself and go for an escape, the prisoners caught onto him and slammed him on the floor. One prisoner seemed to even hurt his foot while kicking the guard. After a short while, the convict decided to stop for a bit and free the officer. As he managed to reach the stairs, they went after him again, kicking very aggressively. One prisoner was even spraying him with the pepper spray he held before, and they finally set him free as he walked up the stairs. CCTV footage captured a rather shocking scene at a police station. Prisoners had been brought out of their cells for a quick trial, with cops guarding the place. But not all the prisoners were calm. Right under the noses of the cops, one prisoner decided to run for his freedom. He made a break for it. When he got to the door, the officers pounced on him but couldn't stop him. He fled the place, with cops chasing behind him. Seeing the success of his co-prisoner, another detainee bolted towards the door. The single cop there could not stop him at all as he made it through. This was the beginning of an epic chase, as one of the cops got on his bike to follow them. While all that happened, the other prisoners sat quietly. A court camera captured a video of a prisoner hijacking a police van to escape after being sentenced. The detainee drives the van, ramming it into the gate and taking the gate down. The man who tried to stop him was sent to the ground along with the gate, and all attempts to stop him failed miserably. In the end, he escaped, speeding into the distance with the hijacked van. In a shocking video released, an inmate went live on Facebook right from prison. The detainee, Joey Rivera, posted the video on his YouTube page, where he was seen brandishing a shiny knife with another inmate.
You see this? This is how we do it in here.
Then he proceeded to give his followers a live tour of the prison, leaving many confused as to how he got a cell phone and a knife in a prison cell. Court surveillance captured a wild video of a murder suspect in a blue shirt who was led into an office by two cops. One of the officers removed the cuffs from the suspect's hands, and he slowly walked towards a desk as if to sit on it. But then he bolted, jumping over a chair and going through the door, with the two cops chasing hotly after him. The video switched to the hallway, and the man was seen sprinting down towards another door, with the officers not too far behind him. He ran through different hallways and eventually bolted through a door only used by staff, taking the cops with him in an epic chase.
Here's how 4 inmates in a Georgia jail took a chance and attempted a daring escape. This video shows a pod boss organizing a wild fist fight to celebrate an inmate's birthday, leading to a tense situation.
Happy birthday! How old are you?
It's my birthday.
Well, you done really ate
Everybody got out their chairs, you feel me? We got it right here. I want to get busted up. I want my nose broken. Come on, let's get it.
He talking reckless. He really just started.
Same. I got some weirdos in here. Anybody want to hit? Damn, the stairs right there. What? Hands up.
Don't name know what Pop be on some con. No, everybody know what's going on. Talking about who want to shoot one for his birthday. Who says that in this door? Nobody don't.
The impromptu fight then escalated into total chaos.
Yeah. It ain't your birthday. You talking good.
As far as the gangs, if one goes, they all gonna go. You know, it's not gonna be a fair fight.
Roll over the blood, then you try to roll over the G.
I'm like Saddam Hussein. Up, you gonna get killed.
You try to roll over the G. Yeah, you.
He always talking. The tough guy talk, hey, you gonna get beat up.
The gang's got to just exert some pressure on the situation just to remind everybody that they're there and they have some kind of coordinated power.
He kept talking reckless, so we did what we had to do. We beat him.
Let me get the number. Y'all want to know?
And then he was taunting them after it, which I thought was dangerous, and he's bleeding from the nose.
Said another one, bro. I can't get another.
But the inmates hadn't had enough and went ahead for round 2. But this time, it was a one-on-one fight.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So, what?
Here's the shocking video of convicted killer Danilo Cavalcante escaping from Chester County Prison in Pennsylvania. Danilo Cavalcante scaled a prison yard wall using his arms and legs to escape. Once on the roof, he navigated through layers of razor wire. The incident resulted in a widespread manhunt and a $20,000 reward offered for his capture. This is how Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, one of the most notorious drug lords in Mexico, escaped a high-security prison right under the noses of the authorities. Featured on Forbes' list of the world's most powerful people, El Chapo is a notorious figure with a cult-like following. His arrest drew massive media attention and captivated audiences worldwide.
On August 10, 2021, exactly at 10:56 p.m. Friday at the City Justice Center in downtown St. Louis, a few detainees decided to have a little fun sparring, but it settled, and about 11:30 p.m., a fight broke out as some inmates were attacking a person while the rest were just standing and watching. Corrections officers and other inmates were seen on the other side of where the fight was being held, and they were all watching the fight scene and went to call for help without entering the room. It seems to be a set match because fights just keep occurring over and over in the cell, leaving some convicts injured. While the correctional officers just stood back and watched the scene without interfering, one guard even yelled at them. But one of the detainees yelled back at her. A couple of minutes later, a prisoner was seen limping with his shirt covered in blood and was escorted out of the cell. But the fight didn't end there in the room. At about 2:15 a.m., the officers arrived with pepper spray and masks, which shows they were trying to get one prisoner out of the room, but it didn't go as planned, and it all escalated as the inmates rushed the door. The inmates were up in their unit wiping their eyes, and a little later the officers left, leaving the prisoners alone as they did whatever they liked in the cell. 5 hours after the fight, when the inmates were back in their cells, police officers and sheriffs arrived with gear, and one after another, they took out the prisoners with their hands cuffed. At the Alga Middlesex Detention Center, video footage shows the warden opening the cell doors for the detainees to start their chores at 8:13 a.m. The prisoners were all heading out of their rooms, but one of them looked suspicious, as if he was trying to hide something. After the guard left, he went back inside his cell and pulled out a bag of laundry. The other inmates were just looking at the guy without interfering, and continued their cleaning as the killer went to the neighboring cell to call for help. The murderer finally was able to drag the dead body to the shower. Detainees tried to clean the front of the room with different rags and solvents to hide the smell and stains left over. The inmate killer later brought out a stained mattress from his cell room and dropped it in an opposite room. Shortly after that, he brought about 5 shoes from his room, dumped them in the trash, and dragged the trash can closer to his room to continue cleaning up. The other inmates just continued their work without getting in the way of the cleanup. A while later, an officer came in the room and the killer got a mop and started cleaning casually the areas in front of his cell room. At the Oklahoma County Detention Center on Saturday, March 27th. A couple of detainees were seen walking around the room, and one of the detainees held a guard hostage. According to officials, Oklahoma City police were called in after an Oklahoma County jail inmate took a detention officer's keys, tied him up, and took him hostage. The attacker let other inmates out of their cells, and then an inmate got a hold of the knife and stabbed the detention officer multiple times after placing it on the table for a while. Shortly after that, the inmate got the knife again and held it to the officer's throat as police arrived on the scene. As police officers moved towards the bottom of the staircase, 2 officers opened fire and fatally shot the prisoner. The detention officer was later rescued. On October 17, 2016, in a Racine County correctional facility, this terrifying video shows an inmate being escorted by 2 guards. At first, this was nothing serious, as the prisoner was even seen walking peacefully with a bright smile on his face. When he noticed the prison officers were off guard, he turned, suddenly hitting one of the wardens with a heavy fist and landing him on the floor. The other officer acted quickly as he jumped on him, pinning him down on the floor and battling with the prisoner to being able to escape. Other officers rushed out to help.
Inside a Brazilian prison, something unsettling is caught on camera. A DJ blasting music, dancers moving like they're at a party, and even someone twerking behind a pillar. It's the kind of scene that makes you stop and wonder how this is even possible in a place meant for strict control. The casualness of it all is what makes it so eerie. A full DJ setup in a prison isn't just unexpected. It's a sign that the usual rules don't apply here. It's not just the music or the dancing. It's the sense that something deeper is off. A reminder that in places like this, control can slip away in ways you don't see coming. This clip is hard to watch. A desperate inmate tries to escape, but the razor wire around the prison is no joke. Once you hit that stuff, it doesn't just poke you, it rips your skin apart. It's brutal, and the sheer danger of it is a reminder of how serious prison security really is.
Ooh, get up there. And it look like you stuck. Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. Gonna hurt. You better try to turn around as quick. You better retreat.
The wire is designed to stop escapes at all costs, and it's not forgiving. People who've worked with it describe seeing wildlife like opossums and raccoons get disemboweled just trying to navigate it. The fact that someone would still attempt to scale it speaks volumes about the desperation involved.
Go back, turn around. Oh yeah, you're gonna pass away.
Most prisons have multiple layers of this wire, so even with a plan, getting through is nearly impossible without outside help. Seeing someone go up against something this dangerous is chilling. It's not just about escaping. It's a fight against something designed to hurt anyone who tries. And as you watch, you can't help but wonder, is freedom worth this kind of pain?
When I started walking, it was like I got some strength. Well, after I prayed, for real, after I made select, you know what I'm saying? It was like I got some strength, and I walked on down to the dorm and I seen the folks. They calling me sergeant because I got the uniform on. They think I'm a sergeant. And like, open up the key. Oh, you got the key, don't it?
A man in prison holding guards hostage decides it's the perfect time to roll a joint. I mean, if you're already looking at 50 more years, might as well take the edge off, right?
Insurance, we ain't even have to get physical. Your eyes got big as golf balls. Hey man, y'all so silly.
Yeah, get it right. Straight right. Yeah. Right. Bring them like your mama chick.
Inmates frying chicken in prison. Now that's a culinary plot twist. The real mystery? How did all that raw chicken even get in there? You can't help but picture someone smuggling drumsticks in a place no drumstick should ever go. It's both impressive and disturbing.
Your mama chick in this bitch. Church, West South.
I mean, they've got the hustle and ingenuity down, turning a cell into a kitchen, but the logistics are mind-boggling. The frying setup, the oil, the raw chicken. Someone had to orchestrate all of this like it's an episode of Iron Chef, Lockdown Edition. And while it's hard not to chuckle at the absurdity, there's also the terrifying thought of just how far people will go to make prison life a little less grim. Let's just hope they had a really good cleanup system after that meal. In a wild incident, 16 inmates were indicted on mob action charges after a fight broke out in the maximum security section of Cook County Jail in Chicago. In another violent prison incident, 16 and 17-year-olds attacked a correctional officer on Rikers Island. Sources say the teens refused to follow his orders to line up, telling him they wouldn't listen. In a tragic case of excessive police force, jail detainee David Yearby was forcibly removed from his cell on November 1st, 2014, by authorities at the Middlesex County Adult Corrections Facility.
Actions 3, please.
Get on the ground! Give up your hands! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Give your hands up! Put this hand behind your back!
What is the nurse there? Listen to the instructions he's going to give you. You're going to take this spit mask off. You're going to bend down, rinse your eyes out in the water. You understand me? Yes. Do not spit. Do not move. Bend forward, rinse your eyes off. Bend forward.
David Yearby did not survive and succumbed to his injuries just a few hours later.
Guys, we don't need you all in here. You strapped in. Just one of you guys remain. There you go. Head all the way out. Nurse, check restraints. David, you need to relax, buddy. All right? Let this nurse come in here and check you out and make sure you're all right. You hear what I'm saying?
This next video sparked widespread debate in court over the use of force against a mentally ill inmate at California State Prison, Corcoran. It shows the inmate being extracted from a holding cell on December 3, 2012, after refusing to leave voluntarily.
And I am here to do a clinical intervention on inmate, his CDC number. He's refusing to come out of the cell, and so at this time, or he's at the holding cell, so at this time I'm going to attempt to gain compliance.
The video, filmed by prison staff as required by policy when force is used, shows guards attempting to communicate with the inmate, who was clearly not in his right mind and kept screaming at them. Unable to calm him, the guards were forced to use physical force to remove him.
Why am I going on management? I don't fit the criteria. I'm refusing. We don't have to even go through all this. Just go ahead and get the spray. I'm gonna put the spray me. After that, I'm gonna go in my cell. Something else will happen. They're gonna spray me again. On first watch, they're gonna spray me again. I will continue to do this. Warden, when you hear this, 473 points. All of that in my file. I will be doing this continuously in this building. I will have everybody doing it continuously. That's my folks in this building because you guys are violating our rights. A programmer for 7.5 months, getting on management status. Explain that. Let's go, let's get it rolling. I saw good, let's do this. Talk about, I want to spray, and they're gonna keep spraying. And keep doing right.
Intervention was unsuccessful.
Go ahead, man.
Get back up.
Let's see what you got. Those are baby sprays, boy.
finally managed to subdue him and took him away.
And you took that straight off. And you left him in the lap out here for like 2 or 3 seconds. And what did you accomplish? What did you accomplish?
Watch him live.
He's going down there. These men are strangled. Look at you. That was boring. I could have went 3 or 4 more rounds. No, I ain't gonna make it because when that happened, I'm gonna have to. Man, all that shit just the fucking get
What was supposed to be a typical day in prison suddenly becomes dangerously exciting after prison guards stumble upon something unexpected.
Pimentel, de 25 anos, preso há 2 semanas por furto, tentou escapar por espaço que permite a ventilação nas celas e ficou preso. Ele ficou...
The prisoner stuck in the tight gap attempts to reason with the officers after getting caught red-handed trying to escape. After realizing he no longer has any other choice, he finally gives up and surrenders to the officer below.
De 3 metros. Aí ele ferido foi levado para o hospital, mas já voltou.
In this intense clip, a prisoner finds himself in deep trouble after he does something he should have thought twice about. Escaping prison using a toilet is a popular trope in fiction, but it is highly improbable in reality due to strict security measures and surveillance.
Sai daí, rapaz! Sai daí! Se vira, se tu entrou, como é que não vai sair?
Police officers and other inmates record and laugh at the prisoner trying to escape through a filthy and small toilet. His Shawshank Redemption-style escape is quickly foiled after he realizes that there is no way he could fit through the hole.
Pera aí! Sai daí!
2 inmates quickly catch him attempting to escape and decide to stop his plan after everyone realizes he is stuck. In the end, he finally gets pulled out of his predicament, wholly covered in excrement. A policewoman can be seen walking around the cell to cell, delivering food for the prisoners through a small food slot in the door. Going through this daily routine, the police officer isn't concerned about the feeding, as the doors are slammed shut.
I had started over in our D pod and I was working my way around, so I was the only one in the pod when I got to A.
She went from cell to cell, putting the tray.
What was supposed to be a routine feeding of the prisoners quickly turned disastrous when surveillance footage captured a prisoner's tray slot popping open. Within about 4 seconds, he was out and on his feet.
The offender asked if he could have another minute because he wanted to put his pudding into
The female officer immediately bolts off, running to avoid getting harmed by the very aggressive prisoner. The clip ends with the prisoner chasing the officer, leaving us to guess what happens next.
to try to get out.
The 6-foot prisoner had crawled out the food.
CCTV footage shows a group of prisoners making their way to the prison yard using a hole they discovered that was connected to their cells.
Foi 3, uma festinha, 4, beleza. Uma cozinha.
Esse aqui, né?
Esse camisa vermelho não consigo saber quem é.
After gaining access to the prison yard, the prisoners quickly devise a plan to escape, eventually leading them to take action. Hopeful after successfully getting outside their cells, they immediately scout around to try and find ways to escape the prison. However, their situation turns upside down moments later as their plan is foiled, leading to a terrifying and intense scene. The cops stop the escape attempt just in time, putting the prisoners back in their cells.
In a dramatic escape, convicted drug dealer Denis Talayev fled custody in Tomsk, Russia. sentenced to 10 years. Talayev managed to escape by throwing white powder at his guards, disorienting them, and evading capture despite their use of weapons. Surveillance footage captured the incident, leading to disciplinary actions against 5 police officers. As of now, Talayev remains at large and is the subject of an active manhunt. A Mississippi inmate made headlines, and probably a few enemies, by headbutting an officer as he was being escorted into court.
What's up?
It's certainly one way to express frustration, but let's be real, it's not exactly the best legal strategy.
What's up?
The moment was caught on camera, showing the inmate's sudden and aggressive move, which left the officer stunned. It's hard to tell what he thought this would achieve, other than adding more charges to his record. A Hamilton County inmate made a break for freedom, and it was all caught on camera. Surveillance video shows Jeffrey Hope running out of a holding cell at the Hamilton County Courthouse, sprinting down a hallway as several deputies chased him, even drawing their tasers. Despite his efforts, Hope's escape attempt was unsuccessful. Deputies caught him, put him in handcuffs, and he continued to struggle as they placed him back in a cell. Well, at least he tried. This prisoner, Cody Jondreau, climbed the northwest wall of the Pinellas County Jail's recreation yard and went through the razor wire in about 26 seconds. He ran across the roof, jumped 11 feet to the ground, and continued over a second fence. Sadly for him, deputies pursued Jondreau and apprehended him in a nearby parking lot. He sustained multiple injuries and was taken to the hospital for treatment. A prisoner found himself in deep trouble, literally, after attempting a Shawshank Redemption-style escape via the communal toilet.
Sai daí, rapaz! Sai daí!
Se vira, se tu entrou, como é que não vai sair?
Bora, rapaz, sai daí!
Tô tentando.
Você tá tentando essa aí? Então espera aí, deixa eu chamar um cara aí pra te puxar. Espera aí. Sai daí. Ei, Peladão, puxa ele aqui.
Covered in excrement, he tried to slither headfirst through a hole in the ground. 2 men grabbed his legs and pulled him back out, returning him to his cell covered from head to toe in sewage. It was an escape plan that definitely went down the drain.
This video captured in India shows the high walls of the Karnataka prison. A detainee is seen trying to scale the fence. He jumps off, and despite landing on his feet, he still falls heavily to the ground. Then he gets up, limping. It could be that the jump had affected him more than it seems. The prisoner limped away from the wall and went to the road in search of public transport to take him to his hideout. On a Saturday night, at the Espanola police station, Carl Romero was on duty and watching the surveillance cameras when the cameras captured something eerie. Romero said he saw an image in the camera, which he thought was a moth, until he saw the legs.
Then I saw the legs and it was a human.
And it turned out to be human, but not a real human. There was no going out or coming into the place without opening the iron gates and sounding the alarm. Yet the creature caught by the camera went through without causing any problems. Romero believes it was a ghost. This next footage shows detainees as they harass the Cook County Sheriff. As seen in the footage, a group of detainees rushed up to the 2 guards in the cell room just when they were about to open the door to get out of the room. They rush in on them while they try to defend themselves, but they are outnumbered as the prisoners are too fit to handle on their own. A little while later, after the guards were able to get themselves free, they went to call for backup, but it seems one officer was injured as he was holding up his face and crying in pain. Finally, the guards came out for help and rushed into the cell room where it all happened. The prisoners were already lying down on the floor when they got there, and the officers jumped on them to prevent any more attacks. CCTV cameras from different angles were focused on a black SUV that was used to transport a suspect to jail. The SUV came to a halt as the driver was paying for something. That moment turned out to be the opportunity that the suspect was looking for, as in a fluid move, he opened the car door and fled into the distance. Realizing what had happened, the driver moved the car, got out, and followed after the suspect. In this video captured on a highway, a man frantically ran across the road, almost disregarding the vehicles. It was clear that he was fleeing from something. Several police officers were seen standing by the road with some German Shepherd dogs. One of the cops went to the back of a vehicle and in it was an empty seat. The prisoner they were escorting had bolted. It turned out the man from earlier was a prisoner who had escaped. In this body cam footage taken at approximately 11:30 p.m., NYPD officers responded to multiple 911 calls regarding a man who was reportedly threatening a family member with a knife. 3 officers entered one of the elevators and were preparing to ride it to the man's floor, while 2 others were trying to prop open the lobby door with flyers in anticipation of backup. All of a sudden, the suspect emerged from the second elevator not occupied by officers and moved quickly towards an officer, swinging the knife directly at this officer. That officer retreated outside of the lobby, and then the suspect charged towards the elevator occupied by 3 officers. One officer fired at the man with a taser, and 2 officers pulled out their service weapons and shot the man multiple times at close range. The video shows the man on his back just outside the elevator as his right arm went limp. After the shooting, the officers tried to save the man's life. On June 14th, a maximum security prison in Miami showed a video of a power breakdown in the prison as the inmates walked out of their cells and chased after a shirtless prisoner. The inmate being chased jumped off from the first floor to the ground floor and broke his leg. Another prisoner rushed to his rescue as he stood around him like a shield. This video, caught on a surveillance camera at the maximum security Southern Ohio Correctional Facility in Lucasville, shows detainees handcuffed to a table in a recreational area, and another inmate in the area behind them manages to slip out of his handcuffs and pull out a homemade knife and starts chasing the other prisoners who are cuffed to the table as they run circles around the table. And finally, He was able to stab the inmates as there were no other ways the detainees could defend themselves. The prison guards watched from behind, and they did nothing about it. In the video, an inmate from the New Albany County Jail in Mississippi was being escorted to the courtroom by officers. The prisoner's hand was cuffed and tied around his wrists. The prisoner yelled at the guards in front of him and angrily head-butted one of them. The officers responded quickly as they fired back, immediately carrying him out of the room. On June 14th, in a Miami maximum security prison, a video was captured by surveillance showing a sudden power breakdown which caused the doors of the cells to open at the same time. The inmates walked out of their cells and, for some reason, chased after a shirtless prisoner. The detainee on the run jumped off from the first floor to the ground floor, breaking his ankle in the process. Another prisoner rushed to his rescue as he stood around him like a shield.